The achievement of happiness requires not the satisfaction of our needs but the examination and transformation of those needs. Can human beings change? The humor, and the sadness, of remarriage comedies can be said to result from the fact that we have no good answer to that question. So far as photography satisfied a wish, it satisfied a wish not confined to painters, but a human wish, intensifying since the Reformation, to escape subjectivity in metaphysical isolation, a wish for power to reach this world, having for so long tried, at last hopelessly, to manifest fidelity to another. Photography overcame subjectivity in a way undreamed of by painting, one which does not so much defeat the act of painting as escape it altogether, by automatism, by removing the human agent from the act of reproduction. I don't run away from the idea of philosophy as seductive. I want the sentences to be prose but intense prose, to show that, like life, thinking is not linear. One impulse of photography, as immediate as its impulse to extend the visible, is to theatricalize its subjects. The photographer's command, "Watch the birdie," is essentially a stage direction. The academic world doesn't invite you to try to walk on 2 feet all the time. And in philosophy especially, it's a very intimidating place. The intimidation can be very thin, or it can stop you. The development of fast film allowed the subjects of our photographs to be caught unawares, beyond our or their control. But they are nevertheless caught. The camera holds the last lanyard of control we would forego. These two simply appreciate one another more than either of them appreciates anyone else, and they would rather be appreciated by one another more than by anyone else. They just are at home with. Death, so caused, may be mysterious, but what founds these lives is clear enough: the capacity to love, the strength to found a life upon a love. That the love becomes incompatible with that life is tragic, but that it is maintained until the end is heroic. People capable of such love could have removed mountains. Instead it has caved in upon them. One moral of such events is obvious: if you would avoid tragedy, avoid love; if you cannot avoid love, avoid integrity; if you cannot avoid integrity, avoid the world; if you cannot avoid the world, destroy it. We do not see our hand in what happens, so we call certain events melancholy accidents when they are the inevitabilities of our projects, and we call other events necessities merely because we will not change our minds. I remain too impressed with Freud's vision of the human animal's compromise with existence, the defense or deflection of our ego in knowledge of ourselves from what there is to know about ourselves, to suppose that a human life can get itself without residue into the clear. Can human beings change? The humor, and the sadness, of remarriage comedies can be said to result from the fact that we have no good answer to that question. Appropriating seems to have the same stress put on it in relating the individual to the world through the ownership of property as belief has in relating the individual to the world through the acquisition and power of knowledge.